Well, I see it's a little after 10, so we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, I'm Kathleen Greer, and today we are focusing on our Dart Connect services. This is our last series for the year, and I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us for these different series through 2021, and we look forward to continuing that into 2022. And we can go to the next slide. I just wanted to give you a little overview about Delaware Commute Solutions, We are a free service of DART First State. We work with employers, employees, and colleges and students to improve the air quality and reduce the traffic congestion by championing clean commutes on Delaware's roadways. And so it's actually, when we talk about, those clean commutes, we're talking about taking those single occupant vehicles off of Delaware's roadways. We can go to the next slide. And again, talking about clean commutes, some of those clean commute solutions are carpooling, bicycling, transit, as we're going to talk about an offshoot of the transit today, and then also compressed work weeks, van pools, walking, teleworking, and full or part-time work is included in any of those clean commutes. So again, anytime you're taking a single occupant car off Delaware's roadways, you are a clean commuter. And I'll go ahead and start. We can go to the next slide. I just want to introduce our guest speaker today. So again, we're focusing on DART Connect, and we have a guest speaker. His name is Nate Attard. He is the strategic planner for the Office of Innovation with DART. He is working to move Delaware into the autonomous and connected future of transportation through his role as the lead operator of the DelDOT autonomous transit shuttles. He also is the project lead for 2 FTA-funded research projects, so creating the world's first integrated mobility solution launched to the public as DART Connect, as well as testing and studying efficacy of barriers to the bus environment. He previously was an employee with the DelDOT Division of Planning in support of Metropolitan Comprehensive Planning, Aeronautics, and Air Quality Conformity. So again, want to welcome Nate, and I will go ahead and turn it over to Nate. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you, Kathleen. It's such an honor to be here. I'm such a fan of Delaware Commute Solutions. I've racked up so many points on your service that I will never be able to use them. But it's a wonderful thing about working at DART and being able to take transit so often, as well as getting opportunities to ride your bike to work. So we'll jump to the next slide. So I just wanted to start. So you'll often hear through my presentation talk about microtransit, and what DART Connect is it is a microtransit. So I want to make sure that everyone has a pretty good definition before we go too far into this. So microtransit is a small-scale, on-demand public transit service that can offer fixed route and schedules, as well as flexible routes and on-demand scheduling. So it's an app-based type service. It's often compared to rideshare. And it tries to bring together things that are common to public carrier transportation. So things like ride hailing, ride sharing, and taxi, in order to either take passengers to nearby destinations or connect them to public transportation for longer trips. So as we thought about how to try to improve our service around the state, and specifically in the Georgetown and Millsboro area, we looked at this as a good option because we run a number of different fixed routes, and we had 2 services there that were connecting people actively to those fixed routes. So next slide. So that led to DART Connect. So you heard our use of the formal title earlier as to the grant when Kathleen introduced me, but we have branded this locally as DART Connect. So DART Connect is an on-demand microtransit service, and it's a result of that federal research project award that we received from the Federal Transit Administration. So we received about $317,000 to make this happen, and I do want to credit DART and the state of Delaware broadly. Most of the operational costs and such for this are borne by our organization. So the grant really did the effort in powering the interface that we use here at DART every day to make this happen, as well as the customer app interface. It's something that's new to Delaware, and we launched this initially as a 12-month pilot, but we were fortunate through additional support of the state of Delaware and through the cooperation of FTA to actually be able to extend the project. So we're looking to run this now through January of 2023. And we have been working actively with a named project partner, Via Transportation. Via runs more than 500 different services like this around the country. Either the way that they're being run in Delaware, like we are, where we're primarily operating the service ourselves and using their software, or through direct operation, where they're literally running the vehicles and stuff themselves. So it's a good partner because they have a lot of on the ground experience of trying to do this on the operational side in addition to the software side. We initiated this project with a number of different goals, to include improving mobility, increasing frequency and reliability. We had, and we'll get into this in the next slide, at a previous service, the 901 and 902 flexors, which I think were part of the introduction here. And if you were a customer on that bus, your wait time was about an hour. And unfortunately, in rural areas, we can't provide the frequency of service that many people would like to see. And an on-demand services where we have limited ridership allows rides to be fulfilled a lot more quickly. We look to transform the transit experience. So generally people are used to waiting at a bus stop as a stop shows up. Maybe they can interact a little bit on an app. But this is a little bit different in that it actually provides app users the ability to track their vehicle down to precise location with ETA times and with text message reminders and many other things that we'd like to, I think, integrate broadly across the DART system. We're also looking ways to deliver cost-effective services. So our ridership on the service was suffering to rebound because of COVID-19. So we were looking at some potential options, and it was a testing of an innovative service model. Next slide. Some other things to just highlight on microtransit. So microtransit generally uses smaller vehicles than conventional transit. So around Sussex County, especially in Georgetown and Millsboro, we run buses about 29 feet long. In city of Wilmington and other places where we have higher ridership, we run buses up to 40 feet. And you see some of our bigger inter-county buses are about 45 feet. Dart Connect operates this service with those 25 feet cutaway vehicles. They're the same type of vehicles that we use for our paratransit service, but they're really good at being able to navigate through smaller urban areas, as well as parking lots and other places, especially where the land use patterns and stuff aren't necessarily conducive to traditional transit. So especially in Georgetown and Millsboro, where we see a lot of suburban development and such, the pedestrian infrastructure might not be there for our customers. This allows our drivers to be able to get our customers to the safest place so that they can use transit actively, but also not have to, say, wait in an uncomfortable location. Pretty unique to microtransit too is shared rides. So we see this a little bit in rideshare, but microtransit exclusively operates on the shared ride model, where you are going to potentially be on a bus with somebody else. So if you're going from one destination and someone else wants to go there, it might divert a little bit and pick up a person, and then you both be riding to that destination. Or maybe the person's going somewhere beyond, it'll drop and that other person will still be on board. The routes are flexible, so no one rides the same Dart Connect route every day. Unlike our fixed route service, it's constantly changing just depending on who's available, and that's a great thing, right? So if there's just a stop with no one at it and it requires a 5-minute diversion off the road, it's not going to make that diversion that day, and you'll get there a little bit faster. Affordable and convenient connections are important. So this connects to 4 different Dart First State bus routes that'll allow people to get all over Sussex County and on the inter-county service to Dover. Lots of new destinations. So unfortunately, on a fixed route schedule, we can only deploy services within the limitations of the schedule. This allows us to provide service to a broader area, especially if that service is only occasional. And the app, it's customized. And again, I highlighted some of the features earlier, but it allows users to really get good information about the location of their vehicle when it's arriving, if it's delayed, and stuff like that, both by checking the app and with the occasional SMS message it will send. Next slide. Just a quick highlight of the type of service that we have in Georgetown and Millsboro. So you see the Georgetown Transit Hub, that's the busiest stop in the Georgetown and Millsboro area. You can connect to our 4 different buses, as I mentioned earlier. So the Intercounty 303 comes from Dover and then through Milford and into Georgetown. You can take the 206 to Lewis. The 212 is our Western Sussex County bus that goes to Bridgeville, Seaford, Laurel, and some of the runs go to Delmar. And then the 215, so that actually goes from Millsboro to Rehoboth. So that's the only one that doesn't get to the transit hub, but you can connect between the transit hub and the 215 using Dart Connect. Next slide. When planning for this, and because we're primarily focused today on unemployment and clean commuting, I did want to highlight just some of the key employment centers that are supported by Dart Connect. So both in our, and we're looking at this on the first mile and last mile basis. So a lot of people in Georgetown are going to these different destinations around Sussex County for work every day, and Dart Connect helps them make either that first mile connection or that last mile connection. And we see especially our healthcare facilities and our poultry production facilities on this map. So we can see a number in Georgetown that we know people are using. We can see places in Seaford like the hospital and in Vista. We can see Millsboro's Mount Air plant is a significant employer. Up in Milford, people can use as a first mile connection to the 303 to get to the Purdue plant up there, as well as the Purdue plant in Georgetown. So it's really important for us to be able to provide this type of service just to get people to our big employment destinations. Next slide. This is just a quick preview of our app. So the Dart Connect app is available on the Google Play and Apple App Store. It is known as Dart Connect. You can see a couple of the different features there, though. So it both will help you identify where you want the pickup to happen, where you want to go, and then once a ride um, is identified, it will provide you walking instructions to get to the location where the bus will pick you up. So unlike our paratransit service, which is door to door for qualified individuals with a disability or those over the age of 65, this is actually a curb to curb service. So around Georgetown and Millsboro, we have more than 500 identified locations where the Dart Connect vehicle will pick you up. And for many people, it's very close to where they are, and we'll get into some of those statistics. I also want to highlight too that though I focus quite a lot on the app, that is one of the innovative parts of this project. We do realize that there's a strong need for people to be able to book trips over the phone. And our Dart Reservation Center is here and available to book rides for you through our 1-800-652-DART number. And if people want to ride on Dart Connect, that option is option 3. So you don't have to wait for the menu, just hit option 3 when you get on. Next slide. And I mentioned this a little bit, but there are no fixed bus stops. So you can pick up Dart Connect at many bus stops, and actually all of our bus stops are programmed in as one of those locations where Dart Connect will pick you up. We generally know that there are already safe places for a transit vehicle to stop, but there are many other places around town that you can be picked up to, and the vehicle will pull over at that corner and will pick you up or drop you off there. Our drivers do use discretion to make sure that they're dropping off or picking up at a safe location. Next slide. So I just want to highlight quick some of the things that we've seen with Dart Connect, and then I'd like to take a minute to look at the quick video about how to use Dart Connect, which was graciously put together by our colleagues at Delaware Commute Solutions, and credit to Arlene Beltran. So since launch, as of last Friday, we've seen more than 11,000 people take rides on Dart Connect. More than 1,300 people have set up accounts. Most of our rides, well, about a majority of our rides are booked in the app, but we're seeing significant calls to our call center to book trips. Our average ride is about 15 minutes. Rides are about 6 miles, so we are seeing a lot of use for that Georgetown to Millsboro trip in addition to the around trips. Our walking distance, as I mentioned earlier, we do ask people to walk a little bit. On average is 110 feet. So some people are fortunate, happen to live near the corner and don't have to walk very far. Other folks may have to walk a little bit more. And we are seeing significant sharing on the service. So about 28% of the trips are with another person, but a lot of the trips are being accomplished without somebody else on board too, which provides a little bit of a quicker service for folks as well. So I think we'll just take a minute to play the video, and then we'll move on to the next slide.
Let's ride Dart Connect for the first time. Dart Connect is a new on-demand microtransit service in Georgetown and Millsboro that replaced the 901 and 902 flex routes. For the same price as a Dart bus fare, customers can travel to more destinations simply by booking a trip within minutes instead of planning a trip around a bus schedule. Book a ride by downloading the free Dart Connect app or calling to request a ride on the spot anywhere within the service zones of Georgetown and Millsboro or to travel between the two towns. Use Dart Connect to connect with Dart buses at existing bus stops within Georgetown and Millsboro. Have access to dozens of new transportation destinations within Georgetown and Millsboro. Dart Connect is $2 per ride. Fares can be paid using cash or the Dart Pass app. Hours of operation are weekdays 5:45 a.m. to 8 p.m. Dart Connect is also wheelchair accessible. Customers using a wheelchair should note the use of a wheelchair in the Dart Connect app or by phone. Bring your bike. Dart Connect, like Dart buses, has bike racks on the front of the vehicle. We had a great time riding Dart Connect.
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, we're excited about the video and just want to say thank you to Delaware Commute Solutions for putting that together. So we can jump to the next slide. I just want to offer some recent highlights on Dart Connect. So our ridership to date has been growing, and that's been really exciting to see. So we launched with a free fare period, so we saw a lot of use. We instituted fares on Dart Connect starting on May 12th of 2021. So we saw a little bit of a dip because of that, but it's been steadily increasing then. And we now are hitting our highest average daily ridership. So last month we were at 77, an exciting trend to see. And whereas we tend to focus a lot in transit on perhaps people taking 2 trips to work, right? So maybe thinking that our ridership is fewer people than that. We did see in the month of November that we had 145 active riders, which is really neat to see because it means we have a lot of work trips. We know that, but we also have a lot of occasional trips. So people who might not need a ride every day, but do need a ride, right? Whether it might be to an appointment or to the store or something like that. And I just want to highlight a couple of project updates. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we're fortunate to have the support of the state of Delaware and the FTA in extending our project through January of 2023. We are working actively to roll out public carriers. So we're going to involve some of our local uh, taxi providers, and there's some more nuanced classifications, but we don't need to go into that here. But what they'll do is they'll be able to provide some additional service under the Dart Connect banner. So instead of a Dart vehicle being out there to pick you up, a vehicle maybe branded as a local taxi company will show up with some Dart Connect information on it, so that people are able to get additional rides where they might need to go. And we are excited, but still working through some technical issues on multimodal integration. So I'm really excited about that because what that'll allow is people across Sussex County and then eventually statewide, the ability to book that last mile trip in the same app. So say you're in Milford and you need to get to the Mount Air plant and you're going to get on the 303 bus. You request your trip from Milford, it'll tell you when and where to pick up the 303 bus in Milford. And then once it arrives or is about to arrive in Georgetown at the stop it tells you to get off at, it'll then request that microtransit vehicle to meet you at the stop. So it'll really help our Dart customers get to the last mile destination that they need to get to, or vice versa. If someone in Georgetown is trying to get say to Milford, but doesn't live right near the 303, they can use it to get to the stop and then can take it on to the Purdue plant in Milford. And I believe that is what I have. Oh, there's one more slide, and we'll go to that. I just want to highlight just a couple of things as to Dart Connect and what it does and what it does not do, just because I've had a lot of questions around this. So Dart Connect does serve as a great example of how we can perhaps look at things like local circulators and looking at demand response options for them to help improve the transit experience. And it really is our first attempt to bring together as many mobility providers as we can to help actually make sure we're rowing in the same direction when it comes to providing mobility. There's a lot of people out there providing rides, And the more we can work together, the more rides we can provide. So that's a really exciting aspect of our service. But this does not really act as a proposed solution for most DART bus routes around the state. We serve a lot of people every day, and this is really just a solution for some very, very low ridership services. And it does not affect our paratransit services at all. So where we're excited to potentially bring our paratransit customers on board, and we have accessible vehicles. And if you have a mobility impairment and need a door-to-door ride on DART Connect, you can request that. It's not affecting those services right now at all, and nor will it. So with that is what I have. So I'm excited to be able to present today. I'll put my contact info in the chat if anybody is interested in reaching out over DART Connect or anything else that we worked on that you may have seen in the intro. And again, I want to thank Delaware Commute Solutions for having us here today. Thank you, Kathleen.
Sure. Thanks, Nate. And I appreciate your time today. And what a great overview on what DART is doing to keep individuals connected to locations A to B, or, for work, like you said, or for, personal appointments. And then some of the things that they have on the horizon, and especially with the extension of the DART Connect program going until January of 2023. So thank you for that. And we could go to the next slide. Just one other thing before I give some information about Delaware Commute Solutions again. Nate is going to be available after I'm done, and we can see if there are any questions or follow-up that we can provide to any of the attendees today. But one of the things that we were talking about, clean commuting, and we were talking about DART Connect. So anytime anyone is out of a single occupant vehicle, they are clean commuting. So if they're using the bus, they're using the DART Connect services. If they're walking, biking, again, van pooling, carpooling, and then even compressed work weeks and teleworking is considered a clean commute. So if you are not already a program member of Delaware Commute Solutions, you can get started by going to our website, which is DelawareCommuteSolutions.org, or you can download our app, which you can see on this slide here, the icon for the app, which is DECS. So when you complete your profile, and we want you to add a profile picture. It doesn't have to be a personal picture. It can be, of your dog, your cat, a tree. It doesn't matter. But we do require that in order to an individual to take part in some of our other offerings that we have. So once you are a member, you're able to take advantage of some of the other perks that we have, which is one is the guaranteed ride home. And so that is, if you did take a clean commute to work, there is an emergency, you need to leave, you can actually pay for a taxi, an Uber, Lyft up front, keep that receipt, turn it in with your form, and then we'll reimburse you up to 5 times a year for that. The other are our rewards. So anytime that you take a clean commute and you record that into the program, you're able to earn points. Those points can then be redeemed for different rewards that we have in the system. Anything from, and it's in your local area based on your zip code. It could be anything from eating establishments to entertainment to also, we do a monthly drawing, so you can take those points, put them towards a gift card reward. We do different denominations each month. It always totals $100. So it could be 1 month, it could be $100 one certificate, or it could be 4 $25 gift certificates. Again, take those points and you can redeem them for rewards. And at the end of this, we'll go ahead, we're going to open it up for question and answers, but just so you know, we're going to send out a link on Monday to the recording. We'll also include a copy of the presentation, and then an opportunity, if you need to get in touch with us from there, you will have all our contact information, as well as Nate's contact information. So we can go to the next slide, and I believe it's just a closing one, just to thank you for joining us today. We are going to continue these info series into 2022, so be on the lookout. We typically do them the third Friday of the month, but be on the lookout. So I'll go ahead and open it up and ask our other team members on Delaware Commute Solutions panel here if there are any questions.
So I don't see any questions. I just want to say thank you to Nate. It's all great information to share with everybody out in Delaware.
Okay. Well, if there aren't any questions, then I'm going to go ahead and again, thank you and Nate and Will in your team for providing us a great overview today. And again, we'll send out the recording and the links. And if there are any questions, we'll make sure we forward them on to you. All right. Thanks and happy holidays, everybody. Happy New Year. Okay.
Hey, thank you all.
Okay. Bye-bye.